strongly prefer OBS to the alternatives, things, well, even the Streamlabs version of OBS, largely because I can't do pixel perfect movement of items by using the transform menu. And it's not like I have, OCD or anything of the actual sort. I'm an asshole. I'm a stickler for details and, well, generally in a completely and totally asshole way. So, last time we did a handful of stuff. Since I just restarted the emulator, well, started the emulator, I should say, I'm gonna wait for it to get through its screens, the initial startup screens, PlayStation, etc., before I bring it up, because otherwise I might need to hide the BizHawk menu, or overlay, display, whatever, to get it to do the proper resolution. And that's not difficult, that's just a matter of hiding it and unhiding it. Which thankfully in OBS does refresh its size. Which is mostly relevant for aspect ratio. When things with game capture, I think it is. Game capture messes up the aspect ratio over time. And last time we did the vast majority of this, I didn't show off grabbing that piece. I did remember where it is. I'm dumb. It's behind the bar. For some reason I assumed I think I tried the back door and just couldn't get into it. Not a huge deal, it happens. Especially when you are messing up occasionally. And here, if I remember correctly, I need to go and talk to the kid. I might need to do the other parts to get this going, but it should be the same. Okay, looks like I do need to do the other parts. I'm going to go back and talk to Alexei for a second, just to make sure I'm up to date on what he needs us to do. Yeah. So our mission is to find the kid, and I of course went in the wrong direction. I can fix it. Now, I believe most of these pieces of conversation are supposed to be about the kid, I believe named Kyle. And of course, yeah, we need to do that so that other NPCs start showing up. And I'm over-enunciating my P's for some reason. But, yeah, like everybody here in this town knows about Kyle. And this is a crappy item. Yeah, let's drop a quick save. I've not been doing a great job of actually doing them. It is a non-full use blue water, just like the prior item was a non-full use fire charm. Now, the rock axes we have, I'm probably going to just throw on Tyler once we get him back. There's not much reason not to use rock axes. And here we have an option to fight or not fight. Also, I kind of want you to make a note of the sprite of the guy that's talking to us. Now, normally I would say fight. Sure, there's no reason not to fight, but there's no reason to fight. I'd get credits out of it, sure. But credits are completely... they're not shared credits. The 1128 are entirely from the 1000 everyone starts with. And the 128 was from the fight. And I think we need to talk to the guy up there on the stairs now. Because I don't think we can actually go and do anything that, you know, it looks like there might be something in the water there, but I don't think we can actually get to that. And there's this, which we can't get through, unfortunately. We can go over here, but there's no reason to. Not right now, anyway. I do have things I need to do as far as spells eventually. Some of the various AoE arts that are very good I want to pick up. Reviva is the major spell I want to get. But most of them just aren't really that important. And I don't remember the specifics as far as who all I need to talk to still. It might be that now I need to talk to the kid, or maybe I need to talk to the craftsman again. This one really... Wait. Z in place of S. Well, on the upside, at least they do clarify pronunciation for quells. But we haven't really seen much that suggests actual quells can be manufactured, made, etc. At least not normally. The egg, maybe not. Probably was manufactured, but, you know, to what end? And what was that big monument about? Apparently if you're holding down a direction, you can't do that. I don't... Whoa, that's weird. Hold up. Okay, that's just strange. I guess I need to do manual save states at the moment. Interesting. Now, presumably, at this point, he gives it to us. But, of course, we didn't require anything. And I'll show it off, but going back to Alexei doesn't do anything right now. Because we've not done what we need to do. So, that is what it is. Actually, I think I can talk to the kid, and that's another advancement. Either that or it's the staircase. I know one of those two is important, I just don't actually remember which. And this scenario is great for atmosphere, but it kind of sucks for actual playing. And this one's just so much worse than a lot of the other really atmospheric scenarios. And it's of course made a lot worse by the fact that if you choose Cody, you lose Cody. Yeah, I think I need to go through and go to the back alley back there to trigger advancement. But I'm really not recalling what the actual things I need to do are. So, while I thought I remembered, I apparently did not. Oh, I need to talk to... Somebody here will tell us that Kyle likes doing stuff. Somewhere. I think up at the reservoir. Maybe it's this guy. The one who emphasized it so much. Maybe I need to go back and talk to the informant? Is this actually relevant to anything now? Well, it may take me 20 more minutes just to get through this scenario. And I'll bring up how Cody dies when it actually would have happened if I'd brought her instead. Yeah, I went through both of those. I talked to the craftsman and got that talisman already, which is supposed to be a quell. Obviously we don't actually get to see what it is, what its anima is, etc. Informant, talk to me. Why? So, the people here are gullible. And that... that one kid's the only one I've found, although it might be that person up there. I might need to get into another fight. Pet all animals. That person's not helpful in the slightest. I believe these lights are why I was able to see the various items. So yeah, maybe I should have actually looked at an FAQ instead of assuming that I could remember this. Also, I don't know why the lights in that room were different colors. Also, I like that when you're next to the fire, it plays a little crackling sound. I'd never noticed that detail before. It's not super obvious unless you're wearing headphones. This game has the weirdest attention to detail at times. And that'll also be true in when it comes time to Gustav scenarios, and occasionally we'll be running through something that has a scene anima with a character that can't use it, can't even see it, I don't believe. Which is, again, really weird attention to detail. It's neat, it's nice to have. It's so strange. I feel like I've talked to basically everybody again. Yeah, I think I already grabbed the rock axe, I assume, out of there. So this is relevant to Cody. We have acquired that talisman, but it only protects you from actual evil, not humanity. Where the hell do I go? So I'm clearly missing something or someplace. Is this enterable? No. Let me go back there. Nope. Yeah, I'm really not, seeing what I need to do. Maybe we won't get to, the iconic character-making scenes if I'm progressing at this rate. Maybe Narcisse was secretly the wrong choice, and he can do no advancement. That's not the case. I'm just being dumb. If I knew how I was being dumb, I would probably be doing a lot better. Yeah, everybody just mentions that he's late. And we can't enter these doors? Alexei still says nothing new. Nothing over here. We can't enter any doors down here. Including this one. This lady's in front of it anyway. This doesn't lead anywhere. This man has said the same thing the entire time. Maybe we need to turn these lights back. Legitimately, that's the only thing I can think of. Maybe with everything brighter, people will be... I should probably talk to that little girl again. People will be willing to actually tell us things. Or maybe it's a matter of we can't see him because it's too dark. Oh, yeah, that guy's visible now. I'm willing to bet that he's the person I needed to talk to. Yo, Narcisse, can you do me a little favor and shank this kid? I'm going to step away for just a moment. Sorry about that, I had a real bad coughing fit, and it just happened to correspond with me wanting to murder that small child. Actually, I don't think this is the way to go. I think now we can go talk to the little girl in the damn tool area. Tool chipping area. Oh yeah, we have to go through the Alexa area. And that squeak was my chair. Oh, and this light's on, so... I don't recall if Cody can get through there. Presumably not, though. So I know the dog, you know, it looked like it jumped down to a slightly lower area. But it's still crap that, you know, Narcisse or Cody or Tyler can't. Okay, maybe not Narcisse. Narcisse is 33. Assuming he feels as crappy as I do much of the time. I can relate to not wanting to jump down that. That's fine. But Cody would still be 19, 20. She should be able to do it. Narcisse, pet the dog. Pet the dog, Narcisse. Why can't I pet the dog? So yeah, the dog's just showing you where you need to go. And this is the brother. Yep. So, time to protect Kyle. And there's, you know, there's some enemies down here. But aside from the enemies, there's really nothing. I mean, obviously there's Kyle in the corner, but... Oh yeah, this is an opportunity. Assuming I actually have the stuff for it, to try to learn one of the bow hybrid arts. What all do I have? Water, Tree, and Beast? As well as Flame from the Hunter Bow. Oops. This one's just shoot, not quick shot. Okay, so didn't get that. Nice. Let's try the other ultimate real quick. I'm really just going to give most of these 1 or 2 shots. And much below, one of the problems with the flame-based hybrid arts is the bow is also our source of flame, and I cannot remember if using it thus uses up further weapon uses. Now, when Cody gets to that kid, he instead runs away. That's the start of the differences. I believe it's the tree one that has the best chance of actually working for these. There is actually a really strong flame beast. Well, it's not really strong, but it has some utility. Unfortunately, while Narcisse is pretty good with spells, he is not really that great at learning arts. Hybrid or otherwise. And so we see Alexei. So, because Narcisse is basically interacting with him as an equal, Alexei has no further dealings with him. Now, if we were to instead do that as Cody, she throws him the quell, and basically at that point, Alexei takes it as a sign of disrespect and has his men kill her. And it's one of those things where, yeah, it's canon, but it's kind of meant to feel like a gut punch, a condemnation of Alexei's character. But it doesn't feel very good. It's really poorly done, and it's especially poorly done in comparison to what we're about to see, that I'm not going to spoil. Regardless, Cody does not have further character development because she was supposed to die in that scenario. But why would I give up one of my strongest characters willingly? Why would any player give up one of their strongest characters willingly? Except right now, it's not even one of, it is the strongest, and it's not close. And I wanted to bring this up. I was looking at the Chronicle a little bit outside of playing for this, and noticed that the southern continent, where we saw the megalith that had originally housed the egg, wasn't always a desert. What caused the desertification of the southern continent? No, we don't really get to find out in-game. Presumably it's related somehow to the egg, but we're never told how. I mean, that megalith could be something like a... Huh, we have 3 open. It could be something like a Yucca Mountain monument type situation. It could be that it's harvesting the anima from the surrounding area. It could be that it's trying to put anima back into the surrounding area. Without access to the SaGa Frontier art book, it's kind of tough to say. Now, here we have Narcisse in front and everybody else behind. And that's fine. I am going to change that around a little bit. Since I didn't use Narcisse much in the last time when we had Nina. And since I can't swap Wil out. I'm going to go back to what our party was originally. Also going to make sure that everybody's equipped and can actually use their various abilities. Giving her the birch ring. One of the reasons I give her the birch ring is just to help with the SP regeneration. We have that light spear, so she doesn't really need fire or much of most things. The Chris knife also has very strong defensive stats against magic, so that's useful but not necessary. What are his spells? Water and tone, free fire, free stone. Okay, so he has fire, he has stone. Might be a better idea to give him access to tree. Well, I don't think it really matters, but just in case we want to use a stronger weapon for anything. I don't believe any of the hybrid arts for bow are stone-based, so that's not a big deal. And... okay, so... water. I'll just give him that partially used blue water. So we have, on Will, we have tree, stone, and flame, which isn't enough to do certain things. Most things, really. But he also needs water. Even with that, he still can't use... do we have a... tone or... water tool? Oh. We don't. That's interesting. Also interesting is that we have not gotten another staff yet to replace this one. I believe we will get another one this go around, but we have tree, water, fire, and stone. Well, if nothing else, he can use needle shot and bushfire. It's not too big a deal. Yeah, they're both. I'll do that just to give him access to fire as well. And then I'll just give him what that needs 3. Oh, we don't have... in that case, I will actually look and... we only have one thing that gives tree. This feels dumb as heck, but everybody has some spells they can use, everybody has some weapons. a lot of people can use Sonic Poison, which is good. It will, if I am remembering correctly, I am not. The thing that I want to proc is Beast and Flame, so... While those spells are good, the Bushfire is probably going to be more useful to proccing what I want to learn. Since it's Flame. We do a lot more damage than we were doing just a little bit ago. A lot of that is the, you know, whole equipping Tyler with a weapon that's twice as strong as what he used to have. Yeah, I think this is the one we want to break. We can't break both of them, but I don't think we can anyway. I think you need to have an option for leaving. But yeah, a lot of these enemies just aren't very strong anymore. And our party has apparently gotten pretty ridiculously strong. Given that, I think I'm going to switch everybody over to Bushfire. I really don't want to get into fights with these. I will show it off real quick. No. Griffin, that doesn't sound... Well, okay, it sounds awful, but... Okay, so on its basic attack, one of its basic attacks, it charmed Tyler, who killed Cody. And we have done... Oh, it's immune to either water or tone. Excellent. Poison, rather. No, tone. And it's effectively immune to spells. Also, it has 22,000 hit points, something of the sort. So no, I'm not going to be going up against those. They are an optional encounter. And while this party is the best set to have a shot against them, they are really not worth it. Oh god, dang it. Sometimes the quick reset does not like working. But yeah, it can be kinda tough to tell exactly what they want to do. And of course the fact that you need to use them to get those items. I'll show what I mean by that once I can actually do it. I was never good at moving these enemies around anyway, even when I was actually doing this legit. Probably a good idea to clear out these enemies anyway. I used a whole bunch of quick saves. But yeah, the non-griffin enemies aren't especially dangerous. So for the most part, they can just be taken out to get some minor stat increases. Now I think that one returned to its nest area. Yeah. I don't think there's anything over... Well, we got the one item on that screen. And it actually has a decent number of uses. It's a tone tool, the first tone tool we have. And I believe this is the screen I needed to come back to for grabbing the item that fell. But again, I could be mistaken. I'm not sure if there's a huge damage variance with that, or if Cody is just a heck of a lot better. Oh, I see. This is going to be difficult. Playing chicken with super bosses. I mean, they're not really, it's not really a super boss. But for where we are, it might as well be. Quicker just to reload. And it is possible to run from the griffins, but I don't know that it's really worth it. It would still take a while. Because it would probably be at least a few attempts. Oh, screw you, game. part of this is, it ultimately is kind of difficult to tell why the bird is rearing up. At actual speed, the "oh, I'm going back to roost" doesn't look that different from "I'm going up to charge." God damn it. I'd have to kill something if I went back on the screen. Oh, and that's the other thing that's really annoying. Even if you kill one of the griffins, it's not gone, because they want you to have a way to get these items. Of course, why they made it, you know, an enemy that's effectively a super boss at this point in time is because it's SaGa. SaGa is as SaGa does. And what it does is makes the players hate the game. Okay. Either the headphone cable or my, Yes. They're nothing special. I am going to save, though. They are good defensively. Since only really he and Cody have a spot for it anyway. And more rock axe. Maybe I should just have Tyler B using the rock axe at every given opportunity. And this should be... Okay, I'm incorrect. Barely caught the mic mute before I sneezed. Since I'm taking Tyler off of doing bushfire duty, I'll add Narcisse back to it. Okay, so turning up the volume seems to have fixed the issue I was getting with left ear cutting out. Although I also reset my headphone cable, so that might have also done it. It may have just not been in all the way. And of course, while doing that, I wasn't actually paying attention to what was going on in the fight. Oh yeah, these enemies are actually sort of dangerous. I mean, not that little guy, but the rest of them. So I should probably do a snake attack on the Amit. Snake Blaster. Oh, it's gonna go first. Might kill Tyler. Almost every drop is rare in this game, so that being a pretty rare drop doesn't mean much, but rares or drops almost never happen. It's not great. Probably better than the caster cloth. Or not. One of the things I've talked about a little bit is that one of the reasons some of the armor is useful is, in addition to providing defense, it provides an SP buffer. And that is, once you bring your SP below a certain amount, at the end of every fight, it will refresh to the amount of SP provided by your equipment. That obviously means that having SP boosting equipment is really useful. Especially since as your SP decreases to lower percentages of the whole, all of your various attacks get stronger. Not attacks, but all your various spells, SP-based things, hybrid arts, things of that nature. They all get stronger. So if you've noticed that the spells that everybody's casting has gotten a little bit stronger as the dungeon has gone on, it's mostly related to that. Oddly, normal arts don't have much, if any, scaling of that same sort. Or if they do, it's something I sure have never noticed. Yeah, Soul Crunch set him to 0 HP, but didn't actually take an LP, oddly. Normally anything that... well, I shouldn't say normally. I think we ran into another thing that didn't take LP, despite killing you before. I think that one also focused on Tyler, come to think of it. Now, a duo attack with an attack all isn't, necessarily the most useful thing. But a lot of bosses do have little characters they'll bring with them. And this, if I can ever bring up the right menu, is our new good staff. Now, if you're thinking, shouldn't that be steel? No, apparently it's tone. Now there's a few ways into the mines. There's a few enemies we can't see. But yeah, one of the problems with hybrid arts, really, just as a whole, is that there's very few ways to really spark them in party-based combat. It seems to happen much rarer, although part of that is party combat spark rates are much lower than duel spark rates. Which is garbage, but it is what it is. Sonic poison should kill everything, so... Oh, well, this'll definitely kill everything. And these skill levels are, of course, useful. I think that's the way to go for progress. I want to pick this up and then I'll see about going the way I assume is progress. I don't remember if I have fire on Tyler. I think I do. So I will try learning. Yeah, in the way of the fire charm. So, flame charge throw. Darn. Taking this on with Tyler may have been a poor decision. These things may have poorer spark rates than I was thinking. And the rock axe broke in his hand. Not a big deal, we have several of them. I know there's a way to sort this list. Is it under items? Yeah. I'm just gonna put it back to manual or auto sort. Now, stone shield's not bad. I was using a shield for a bit on Wil. It is better, of course, than the shields we had before. But shields aren't that good for the most part. Yeah, I'm not seeing another... Oh, I was incorrect. Is it this way we need to go? Well, Wil, in the industry, we like to call that a murder pit. But checking the environment, seeing what the environmental anima is can be very useful. Just as I was with Tyler, I'm going to try to learn the hybrid art for staves here. because I have no confidence and I haven't dropped a quick save nearly as recently as I should have. Okay, that's just not working. Let's... I think it's Narcisse has the beast thing. And then I'm gonna use leave. Duels are useful, but sometimes they suck. Oh hey, we were on the screen before. I always think that you should be able to interact with that little green orb. Near as I can tell, you can't. And we instead want to climb this set of ropes. The art does help to keep things, well, I guess clearer than they would otherwise be, but it's not perfect. Now, those enemies actually did show what their strongest possible attack is, which is a triple combo with 3 spores, which I believe effectively just kills your party almost regardless of what you're doing. Huh. I was thinking there was going to be something up there. Okay, so here's Alexei. And since I do want to show this off, and so, time to fight Danny DeVito and the egg. Once we kill 2 dragons. Yeah, I know only one was there prior to the fight, but I know what happens in the fight. So. And in case you're wondering what's going to happen, these enemies are roughly as strong, maybe a little bit weaker, than than the Griffins were. They have, I think, actually even more health. So what happens here... Excellent. Absolutely excellent. What happens here is you die. That's it. And if you've changed your party composition, you get a game over screen. Eventually. Oh, I guess I clicked through it. I didn't mean to do that. And the reason that happens is because who's supposed to be in your party is Nina. And it really doesn't matter who I replace here. I'll go with Narcisse just because that's who I've been replacing with Nina for a bit. Probably should have done Tyler to keep it more consistent. And I was going to make a comment about possibly losing things, but I think the equip remover, gear remover, however she works, doesn't really care why they're not currently in your party. Trying to give us a bit more of a chance than last time. But yeah, oddly, their shout is less powerful than the prior enemies that we ran into's shout. Or it's about the same. A little bit stronger, thinking about it. So yeah, that was like the special ability of... You know, what are the special abilities for a handful of quells or similar items. Of course, Nina didn't have a quell. So she did that entirely with her life force. Also, these mounts are adorable. I will focus on actually bringing everything down. We have full SP. Let's just use our strongest attacks. I don't know how much health a lot of this stuff has. But none of these attacks are especially strong, so... Okay, so somewhere around 1,000. So, poison should kill. And needle shot is the strongest they have, and realistically nobody's going to die. Oh, I forgot to grab the painful beat that I unlocked. It's only a little bit stronger, but it would help shorten this up a bit. Nice. And again, even in this case, LP's just not relevant. It's weird. This turn will probably kill Alexei. Well, if we can get some actual damage going. Also, everything's just focusing on Tyler. I recalled that effect being a little bit less awful. And that flash is someone's anima leaving their body. Well, shit. So, if we are going by canon at that point in time, Will's actions have led to the loss of Cody and Nina. And the egg's still around. No, of course, at this point in time. I need to find it, but our next little bit is this. And basically, we're doing this because this is doing everything in chronological order helps to unlock the hidden Gustav scenarios. And here we see Leslie taking care of Sophie. And Kelvin's first concern is for Gus. Now, this was likely a mistranslation. It's probably not supposed to be danger. He's probably just supposed to flat out be saying dying. I can't say for certain. I know there were a handful of other mistranslations of things where it's a Japanese word that means two things, and it is or can be difficult to immediately understand in context. Especially if you're translating without context, which I believe was still, unfortunately, the standard at this point in time. Oh yeah, we never really got much for Gus. I know we're gonna have some dual opportunities in here, so I will try at least to get some of his better abilities. And we are back to the lonely theme. Now, of course, because we've not learned any bow because I've not had Narcisse do anything but cast spells. Also, we get to see another, I don't know how to pronounce it, bunny. Also, these status effects are incredibly annoying. And the battle theme this time is, of course, a more anxious version of the regular theme. Well, anxious or slightly frenetic, it could be seen either way. I don't believe there's anything important in here. And this is kind of a demonstration of a little bit of the growing up that Gus has been doing. And also a further demonstration that Kelvin is still more mature than Gus. Oh, I should have probably actually equipped Kelvin. Because I even knew this was coming. It's not difficult or anything. It just would have been nice to be able to do a little bit more damage. since the other scenario has a good spear user, and he could just steal those techniques. Arts. Not that it, mattered. I also really like the flavor of, one, there not being any music here, and two, the bubble popping up well before the text does for Gus's side. Much as Flynn was unable to see her anima leaving, Gus would not be able to see Sophie's anima with him, even if what Seelmer was saying was true. We have no reason to believe it's not, but so those last few scenarios basically make Gus and Wil who they are. The death of, well, their mother figures, actual mother in Gus's case. Also, damn, that's a bad, ugly outfit, Philippe. Giant bow tie. Regardless, the death of their mothers helps to catalyze their character. And since it's not super clear, I know some people have had issue with it. Sophie was the mother of Philippe and Marie as well. And it might be Felipe. I've always just called him Philippe. I don't know if it was obvious, but the Philippe and Marie were both visible in that portrait. Just obviously demonstrably younger than they are now. can't believe people age. And our next scenario is another Gus scenario. It's another pure storyline scenario. And because the game is focused on this from kind of a historical perspective, we don't get a lot of the demonstration of people's reasoning. We get a fair amount with Wil, but we don't get a lot with Gus. Now, with Gus, you know, it mentions the scenario name is called Conquest of Wide. Now, the reason that Gus would have to conquer Wide is, well, there's a few reasons. One of them would be to kind of show that the protection that Kelvin's dad, the lord of the area, has provided him was, you know, worth doing, basically. Little of this is actually worth picking up right now. The plate armor is interesting. It covers all the slots, and Gus isn't going to really be using a lot of the slots. So, given that he already has an iron breastplate, the gauntlet is actually more defense, and it's cheaper. Also, pretty stones. Picking that up mainly because there's no reason not to pick it up. Similarly, there's no reason not to put on a hat of some sort for him. I'm giving him the hood just because I don't have anybody else equipping it. And I know that if necessary, I can always get it back. But what this lady told us kind of suggests that Wide has a history of, you know, being okay with rapid takeovers. And we also notice that Gus is, you know, making himself popular with the locals. He's doing everything he can to make himself popular with the everyman. Now, I don't remember if there's anything further to the right over here. Oh, there is. Storyline progression, I believe, is up those stairs. So I'm holding off a tiny bit on that. I don't know that there's actually anything else in Wide, but I like to show off the art for a lot of these places since the vast majority of it's one-off places. Oh, this is a good example. This is a pocket station thing. And these little, you know, essentially horse-like creatures are neat. They're never given a name. They're never really talked about. They're just the horse equivalent. Presumably they are taken care of by whoever the master of horses employs, and that's not something that would really be in documents talking about the history. Here, both Flynn and Leslie start the same conversation, so we can see that Gus is taking this very politically. See, and that's the thing that I made about, he wants to show that the protection from Sir Thomas was an investment rather than, throwing away money just because Lord Na demanded it of him. I think we may have just needed to leave the room and then come back in. Or maybe somebody new popped up in this house. Doesn't look it. Okay, so I bet it's just we needed to leave the inn and go back in, or might have even just been leave the room and go back in. Flags in SaGa Frontier, yeah, it was just leave the room. So, Sir Mouton is obviously and demonstrably a good person. Very good for wide. And as Gus puts it, very succinctly, this will either go up in smoke, in which case the Lord is not terrible, or as the name of the title chapter suggests, the Lord doesn't actually trust any of his people. Also, it's interesting to me that I know this isn't a door. I know a lot of the doors that have been painted on weren't actually doors. But that's a servant's entrance. A lot of the art of the time period that this is supposed to be, essentially, hides servants' entrances, and they're only visible in some of the architectural plans and things of that nature. It's dumb that it's there, but it's a neat touch, and I like having it there. Oh, I believe after this scenario we can, I can show off another page of the Chronicle, since I've been trying to avoid unnecessary spoilers. And that was probably done just to show deference. And here Gus is making sure that Mouton knows it was not him. And that was really the plan the entire time. Do something that gets Nebelstern out of the way, because he's the only one that doesn't underestimate Gus. That sounded like it was underwater. Yeah, that sounds a little bit underwater. I know that it's this. I don't want to pop it open because I want to check and see if there's anything else. Largely because I don't think I've ever actually looked around this area at night. It looks like it might have just been darkened effectively. Because that doesn't really look like moonlight. It looks pretty similar to the daylight, just with, like a blue filter over it. Which is more than the sprites have, admittedly. That door opening just sounds weird. And so this is the secret escape. It is, in my opinion, one of the prettier areas. Oh, actually I can equip this on Gus. Make him even stronger defensively. Of course I say that, but I think basically every area in this game is gorgeous, so... There are a handful of things to get here. I don't have a list or anything, I just kind of generally know. That was interesting. Now what I'm trying to unlock here is Bear Crush. It is not the strongest move, but of course it still procs Smash even when it fails. So it's still pretty good. And this is one of the few things that actually one of the few area attacks. I'm sorry, I couldn't finish that sentence. Even in my head, it was not getting finished. But, I mean, ultimately, the real reason to do the Bear Crush is because even though it has not gone through with anything other than charge, smash, it actually has two fall-through maneuvers. It has Bull Crush as well as the Bear Crush and Smash. believe this is the exit point for this one. Well, actually, I'm not 100% certain. This might be where I do want to go for now. But yeah, generally speaking, you want to be using the, for sword users anyway. It has so much fall through, and smash is so easy to learn that it tends to work out for the best. Because even once you know the moves, some of the higher difficulty to use moves still aren't 100% for some reason. This is, of every time I've played SaGa Frontier 2, which is a few times, the least luck I have had. Yes, this is where I wanted to go. Now there's two ways of doing this. There's to the left and to the right. Now, right gets it done with no collateral damage. So of course, we are going to have Gus break it. Horrifyingly. Destroying much in the process. Because if you just open it the right way, it's open. That's it. But this way allows us to get an item. I don't remember what the item is. It could be trash. But it's an item. Good job with that shield, Gus. It prevented probably 1 or 2 damage. Unfortunately, the corridors in this are a bit too narrow to really dodge successfully. And of course, I'm not getting any luck proccing even Bull Crush, so... I've also not had any luck getting any levels in Sword. We're still at a much lower level of Sword Mastery than I would expect for this point. Those items may be related. I'm not 100% certain. Hey, maybe I just need to complain about it a lot. Even though I saw that it was the enemy red to start it, I got kinda excited. That is adorable. I mean, I'm still gonna murder it. Oh yeah, it strikes me that I don't know what the name of enemies are here. Hey, we did the same damage to each other. It's just mine was followed by the same number twice, and... I don't know that that was worth it. That's not true. I know it wasn't worth it. I already have another steel amulet, and they're not worth anything. Can I go back and not break the dungeon? I thought we can get across there. This slime is, as I recall, basically meaningless? Yeah, I don't think anything here really has the spark level to get Bull Crush or Bear Crush at a reasonable rate. Fortunately, it's not like this is dangerous in the slightest, and that HP will help to make it even less dangerous. I believe the door is where we want to go through, so... No, I think I'm mistaken. I think the door is not progress. We need to break everything, Gus. Oh, this is another optional area. And it's apparently inhabited by a ghost. Maybe it's the former Lord of Wide? Yeah, given that it's, you know, hostile to Gus, and that's probably the right thing to be if you're a former Lord of Wide. Even if it is just your nephew on the throne. So, a wide ghost. If you want to ride like a ghost, you gotta be wide like a ghost. Got it. So, in a cross counter, he did like 14 damage. And I'm still trying to use him to get better versions of Smash. Now, if he uses something that's actually good, rather than trying to use an anti-undead move on me, the cross counter could be dangerous, especially with only about 100 health. I mean, he seems to be set up to do cross counters anyway. I don't know how much health he has. Apparently it's more than 1200. His spark level is apparently low as hell. It looks like the cross counter actually only buffs our damage, not We're not gonna get into another encounter before we are in another scenario and are thus healed, so I'm not really concerned about LP. Which is another thing that makes a lot of these one-on-one fights against enemies that don't do that much damage kind of a joke. Like, sure, this guy could have thousands of hit points. I think he's almost dead though. Yeah. And we got HP out of it. So, and 1,000 credits. That's not awful, but I mean, Gus never really gets access to the good stores, so his credits are mostly just to buy stuff to chip. And you can tell that the designers are aware of this because very little of what he has access to drops credits. And we are to the end of this scenario. The combat side, anyway. I really like that this is interruptible, but I really like that a lot of these little scenes have just pieces to display the art. And Nebelstern has had time to cool off and has been thinking about what the heck Gus is doing. So he rushes back to Wide. And it's no longer under his former lord's command. The exact opposite frame as started the scenario. Why does it keep thinking that memory card 2 is the one? And that's going to be it for me this time. I think I'm going to most likely just send you over to Smite. I know he's doing his marathon. Thank you for watching. If you like what you see, please drop a follow.